Thanks for remaining with us. 60 days on, the 6 boys from the Lagos State Model College, Igbonla, in May are yet to regain their freedom. A sad reminder indeed, and we have to keep tabs on it for people to remember that these boys are away from their comfort zone. And of course, you can join the conversation online by tweeting at TVC Breakfast on Twitter using the hashtag #6. Yes, and our guest in the studio is the coordinator Education Rights Campaign, Taiwo Hassan. Good morning, and thanks for joining us again. It's not your first or second time of
this is my third time.
Yes, being on this show talking about this particular issue. Are you hearing anything at all about, you know, the possible whereabouts or the progress at all that's been made in getting them back home?
Let me start by saying that the way the Lagos State government, the police and security agencies are taking this issue, we might end up eventually with a situation whereby the mass of Lagosians and Nigerians, you know, would have to occupy Alausa. Why I'm saying this is that today is 60 days. And
will that really help the fate
there
of
are
the
no
boys?
Informations.
Will that help the fate of the boys? Let me take that. Take you up on that. Will it help them?
Why I say that we have to is that government is not a secret court. The people have a right to know. 60 days is, we are talking of a whole lot of days. We don't know the conditions those children are in right now. And you had a commissioner of police who some few days ago said the children are fine. They're fine, yeah. And the questions we ask is that, exactly how do you know? Are they being lodged in a 5-star hotel? Exactly how do you say those who are in captivity for 60 days are fine?
Not with their parents.
And that's the only information, because all of the information we have been getting are informations that do not give us the confidence that anything is being done, actually. That's why I said we may have to get to that point.
Well, a group is already planning to mobilize Lagosians to protest the continued kidnap of the boys. But like Ngozi just asked you, will that solve any problem and see the boys back home safely? Because it seems that everything that is to be done so far has been done by the police and the government. And the kidnappers are milking the parents now. They collected 10 million naira before, later on collected 21 million naira, and now demanding, we don't even know if they paid it or not, 1.5 million naira for transportation of the boys back home. So who do you blame, really? Do you lay all the blame on the doorstep of the government and the police?
Are you aware that even all of the informations about monies that have been paid, some of these informations are not exactly substantiated? So that eventually,
some parents confirmed it. The 21 million naira subsequently paid. They confirmed payment.
With their names? I mean, because I go through the report every day. And we also have our sources. So that, of course, that doesn't mean that monies are not being paid. But it does mean that the public is actually operating on the basis of rumors. And that does not give us confidence.
You say you have your sources. What are your sources telling you?
Well, our sources also are telling us that the police are warning them, you know, about talking to people and divulging certain information. We understand that quite all right. But what we are saying is that if the police is actually taking certain steps, or the government, we must be clear about what we are doing. Don't forget, we have the precedents of the Chibok girls and the way they were adopted. And the Bring Back Our Girls campaign, which started way back and started to force the government to begin to take the public serious in terms of information dissemination. And in terms of all of the efforts they eventually rolled out, which led to where we are today. A Boko Haram that is sufficiently decimated,
let me quickly come in
and a few of the girls that have been rescued.
So far.
Because don't forget that those of us who have not yet been kidnapped are even in a war situation. I said, not yet.
Let me quickly make this point so you can, boost whatever the defense you're making. Governor Akinwumi Ambode has continuously told the public that every effort has been done, that in fact he was feeling overwhelmed at the time he made the statement. And the acting president, Yemi Osinbajo, just made a statement yesterday that he assures Nigerians that the boys will be found alive, that the governor had been complaining about the whereabouts of the boys. That is not that the governor doesn't care about them. So is that not assuring enough?
These are merely political specifying. If you are doing something, there are stakeholders in society that you carry along. See, I give it to the police that there are certain informations that you do not divulge. But we also know and we are aware of similar situations in other parts of the world, and how the government and security agencies balances their duty in terms of security as well as in terms of building the confidence of the public. I said something that those of us that have not yet been kidnapped, because the death that kills one's mate, according to the Yoruba adage, is simply sending signals to the others, so that all of us need to know and be confident that the police are capable of doing this. And the only way we can know that is when we are carried along. And that is what will also elicit that public support that is required. Because I also understand, because you must ask the questions. Wherever these children are there no communities in this area? Are there no people in this area?
But don't you think when the police comes out and says the kids are fine, that the police is actually on top of this issue, including the state government?
I think that's a
but then again, there might...
the CP should be, okay, how do my children are missing?
To placate the parents?
In kidnappers them. And then you say they are fine.
Maybe they are still strategizing on how to bring those kids back safe home.
In what ways can they be fine? And I ask the question, are they in a 5-star hotel?
Yeah.
Any one of us should just try and sleep in the creek just for one day, exposed to mosquito diseases. They are with dangerous people who are all about with guns. They are living in fear and trepidation every day. They are exposed to different social vices.
Okay, let's look at
in their smoking and all kinds of...
On the side of the commissioner of police. On the side of the commissioner of police.
If they come back, we have to look at how to rehabilitate them.
Okay, let's look at it on the side of the commissioner. What he was trying to achieve by that statement, maybe to allay the fears of the parents, for them to be assured that the boys are okay wherever they are, and not make them worked up emotionally unnecessarily.
It's not. What can allay the fears? Don't forget again that the parents had to organize a protest to allow sir. And they were at the gate for nearly 2 hours before anybody even came out to meet them. Before they could even begin to speak to certain elements within the government. We are talking of a culture of governance that disregards the lives of the people, especially when they are poor. Because again, as I have repeated on this program, we have had many cases of kidnapping in this country. Often we just hear them in the news, then 2 days after we hear that the victim has been released. Why this has dragged this long is because those that are involved, the victims, are working class people, poor people, who are actually just trying to fend for themselves.
Is that the real reason, Hassan? Or don't you think there is a possibility that this whole ransom payment is, further complicating the issue? It's a question that we have asked several times on this show. How ransom payment, whether in the case of this Ebola kids or any other kidnap issue, we've sent out, when I say we, the rest of society, has sent out the wrong signal to kidnappers that it actually pays to take this up as a job.
No, it's not straightforward. Really.
It's not as straightforward as that?
It's not as straightforward.
Okay.
Of course, the government has a policy on not negotiating. And I agree with you that there's a tendency when you pay for that to encourage others. But don't also forget that it's also for the parents to be paid. It's first and foremost a sign that they do not have confidence in the police and security agencies. That is first and foremost. The second thing which we will advise to the police that if parents are actually paying, then their focus now should be how to take advantage of that opening. Because if you are paying, it does mean that you are in discussion with the kidnappers. It does mean that there's a channel of communication. This is where you then begin to ask the question. All of this great architecture that we have been hearing, Lagos State government, federal government have been spending billions over the years. Exactly where are they in terms of the usage of technology to track, in terms of surveillance, in terms of usage of drones? Because we have seen things like this in other parts of the world.
From information we got in the past, we heard that the boys in the creeks somewhere in Ondo State, of course, you know the creeks are very difficult, really, when it comes to even overhead surveillance.
They are difficult because of lack of development. Ask yourself a question. How can a boat drive, how can you drive a boat from Igbokoda to Epe to commit a crime and you go back? No patrol, nobody stops you on the way, nobody, which means that our riverine communities, our waterways are completely without governance presence. We must ask the question, the marine police, how many speedboats do they actually have for patrols? And if Lagos has this geographical nature of bordering different bodies of water, it means that we must have as much concern for our marine security. And that will start from not just putting the police on the water.
But then how many police officers does Nigeria have in total? Yes. So how many will be stationed in Lagos?
That's exactly the indictment, which is why I say the kidnapping is first and foremost an indictment on our society, on the system of economy, structure of governance we practice. It's not a kidnapping that should have occurred in the first place. There's clarity, there's clear relation of duties on the part of the police, the part of government. We also need to ask questions even from the school authorities. Because when you got, this is the school where such had occurred a few months ago. Then 3 days before the kidnapping, you got a warning. What did you do? What steps did you take? Then, in terms of the police, we must ask the questions. How many police are in Lagos? I agree. But a follow-up question.
33,000.
How many of them are actually available? You know, for poor people like us. How many of them are attached to politicians, so-called VIPs, you know, for their own protection? Because what you have is a situation whereby the rich and powerful, despite everything, try to provide for themselves in terms of their security, while abandoning the rest of us.
So what then exactly is the way forward? Tomorrow we might just be here saying it's 61 days. What can we really do to actually end this countdown that is not really leading anywhere? And you know, when you hear the state governor, Akinwumi Ambode, say he feels totally inadequate that these boys are still in the den of the kidnappers, I mean, what does that really say to you?
I think that all Lagosians, all Nigerians with a conscience, need to begin to stand up and stand together around this issue. We are standing against the kidnappers. We are sending a warning to them that society will not allow them to continue to prey on us.
Let me take you wider. I will allow you to land on that. Okay. Now, you just talked about the need for society to come on board on this. Who was it that said every society deserves a kind of government
and the people
it gets? Don't you think the Nigerian society has made, you know, it's made it really, really conducive? It's a fertile environment for such things to thrive. Right. And until society itself decides that, look, we've had enough of this, whether it's kidnapping, armed robbery, corruption in high places and all of that, then we'll begin to see that change that we desire.
Abnormalities has become normal.
I agree with you, but don't also forget one thing, that kidnappers don't drop from heaven. They are people like us,
from within us,
who decided to take that path. We must do a sociological examination. What happened? Why did they do this? My understanding is that a society where you have 20 million young people, no jobs of any kind, there's no way we don't have this kind of social menace. It's not just the kidnapping. You're also having the Bado court activities in Ikorodu. There was, and all over the country, there are different crises going on. when you continue to have a society that has a few people who are rich, powerful, and wealthy, and a vast majority that are wallowing in poverty, despite the availability of resources, you know, to make all of us okay and better, there's no way you are not going to have crimes and criminality going. So that the solution, however, actually, you know, is for us to begin to take the government up about its policies. Don't forget one thing, and we have said this before. We said, when you demolish riverine communities, or young people who are selling in traffic, they don't want to commit crimes. They want to fend for themselves. You send them to jail. If you don't want, what do you call it, people to be in traffic selling wares, what you do is that you empower them, give them jobs. But you send them to jail. These people are going to come out. You know, they're going to join criminal gangs because already we have made it impossible for them to actually survive through legitimate means. So that ultimately, if you want to begin to rid society of crimes, government policies must be changed. You need pro-poor policies, pro-people policies that tries to provide jobs for people, provide education, provide sustenance and opportunities. That is what will ensure that each and every one of us will feel safe, because nobody else, you know, is trying to commit crimes in order to survive. Because we cannot continue to a setting where a few people can just steal a lot of money, billions are being stolen every day. So that you are legitimizing in the minds of a lot of people the need for them to also cut corners to make it big. That is what is happening in society.
And of course, many analysts have tagged this an attack on the vulnerable of the society and then on education. You are an advocate for safe schools and communities initiatives. So what measures should be put in place now? Yes, we are talking about the problem, but what should be done to forestall this?
Exactly. Let me start by saying that, as usual, Lagos State government has taken this medicine after death approach, so that this long vacation, schools are closed, no activities in any of the public schools in Lagos, as part of its own measures I must say that this is a very wrong approach. Because what we need to do, which is why we call ourselves Safe Schools and Communities Advocacy Group, is a coalition of more than 25 different organizations, CSOs, trade unions, and NGOs, trying to build momentum around the campaign to rescue the Ekwesis and keep our community and schools safe. Because we recognize that schools are located in communities. Those children that are in school are also living in communities. So that if you want to keep the schools safe, the communities must be safe. Now, if you close down the schools, many of the extramural activities, coaching classes that goes on during the break, that engages these secondary school students, primary school students, are cancelled. We have an example in Nigeria where, for 11 years, for instance, my organization, Education Right Campaign, has organized a free coaching for the past 11 years. More than 5,000 indigent students have had the opportunity of actually going to the university. Because without that, they will not afford the cost of private coaching. So now we can't do that this year. Those children are going to be on the streets, you know, participating in all kinds of social vices,
Why aren't you able
drugs,
to do
and
it
all
this
of
year?
that.
Why aren't you able to do it this year?
Because you close down the primary
because the schools are closed down.
So that for me, I think that what the government needs to do is to first and foremost look at the schools. What do you do to ensure that these schools are kept safe? Many schools have no fences. Some of them have their windows blown out. Some of them have their walls caved in. Start with the physical facilities. Then the staff in the schools. There are many schools that don't have more than 5 teachers. So that without adequate number of teachers, adequate number of support staff, the gatemen and other elements within the schools, are they actually well paid to be able to ensure that they do their jobs? Then the question of how do you allocate security to our schools? You know, so now all of these things are the steps you should take.
In your work, I want to find out, do you engage government alone as far as the issue of keeping schools safe, or do you engage the schools themselves and even the communities to ensure that they do what they can within their own powers to keep their schools safe?
Oh yes, these are all of the things that we are going to do and that we are doing, which is why we also call on the Nigerian Union of Teachers to be part of this campaign for safe schools and safe communities, starting with rescuing their persons, because where children are being kidnapped in schools, then it also means that teachers would also be victims of all of these things. Our communities need to do a lot, because the reality is that we don't have the means, you know, to keep ourselves safe except by standing together. So that we need to go back to having community policing, communities setting up their own democratic defense forces that are democratic, that are under the control of the communities, to patrol, to ensure that we locate and identify those who are engaged in social vices, in order to be able to immediately ensure that they don't endanger.
Thank you very much.
These are very important. So that for me, I think that for Lagosians, for Nigerians, starting with the Ekpesis, we need to begin to campaign to make.
Thank you very much, Hassan Taiwo. You're the spokesperson for Safe Schools and Communities Advocacy Group, and of course, Education Rights Campaign as well. It's all about the 6 boys kidnapped in Ekpe to be released or rescued safely back home. Thank you for coming to.
Thank you so much.